Hey, Sarah, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm
no,
a lady.
You're supposed to say I'm lady. Sarah, no, you ruined it.
Let's do it again.
We're keeping that in.
Oh, no. I'm a lady.
Are you?
I don't know.
Welcome to iDOL Days, the show about idol animes. I'm Star.
And I'm Sarah.
Who may or may not be lady.
I may not be lady.
We're keeping all of this in.
Oh, gosh. I'm scared.
Okay, so this week it is my turn because I watched a very interesting show this past couple weeks and I want to tell Sarah about it because it's wild.
That's all I've heard. I've seen the intro and heard that it's wild.
I just showed you the opening. We're talking about 22-7, or in Japanese, Nanabun no Niju ni.
Is that that's the Kingdom Hearts game, right?
No. I wish, but no.
Okay, got it.
Kingdom Hearts 4. Sora goes to Tokyo, Japan. Wait, shit, that was the ending scene.
Spoilers.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
So, Star, what is 22-7?
22-7 is it's one of the many new shows that are classified under a multimedia project, which means it was not an anime first. This group has been around. The actual group 22-7 has been around since I think 2016.
Real girls,
yes. So there are the characters who all have their own names, and then there are the actresses who play them, who are all their own person. But the actresses...
they're separate names.
Yeah, they have separate names. So the actresses are the ones, they do the singles, they do the dance videos. Some of them are actually do, like, virtual YouTuber activities.
Okay.
So that's fun. I've watched a couple of those videos. Not really my cup of tea, but it's fun to see them do shenanigans. And so the anime actually just finished airing, like within a month of us recording this. It finished, I believe, March of 2020.
A bunch of 2020 animes in our show.
Yeah. The premise of this show is, so there are 8 characters, and they are all mysteriously scouted by a production agency called GIP, which is actually the name of the production company in real life.
Is it pronounced GIP or GIF?
Whichever one the peanut butter is.
Okay.
But no, they say GIP.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, I'm going to read you the synopsis that I got off of Wikipedia. One day, Miyu Takigawa suddenly receives a letter notifying her that she has been chosen for a member of a brand new project. Half in disbelief, she heads over to the location stated on the letter. There, she finds 7 other girls summoned there in the same fashion. The girls behold a giant top-secret facility. They stand in bewilderment as they are told, "You are going to debut for a major record label as an idol group. A new kind of idol never before seen is about to be born here, ...
This sounds terrifying.
It's buck wild, Sarah.
Oh my goodness.
I went into this show expecting nothing. So my introduction to this show was this company has put out a couple of animated music videos for the songs that they've done. And so they did the first one, I think, it was a couple years ago that I saw it, and I didn't really pay much attention to it. The music videos are all animated in 3D.
Okay.
And it's not great.
Got it.
My star's scale of animation, I would give it like a B+.
Got it.
It's pretty stiff. It's very obviously mocapped.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't really tweak it to make it smooth or anything.
Oh, that's a shame.
There's a couple parts in the choreography so like you could have changed that move for it to look better in 3D animation, but you know, whatever.
Got it.
It's a passing score, but it's not like the best thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
And then when the anime came out, I of course always looking for a new idol anime to watch. I watched the first episode, and you know, this is kind of my pattern. I watch one episode of an idol anime, hate it, and then come back to it later when the rest of the show is out, and then I just binge the whole thing, and it turns out I love it.
So, for you, you should just wait to binge.
Apparently.
That seems like the strategy.
I judge very harshly on first appearances, and the first episode of this show, they really do dump a lot of craziness on you.
Got it.
I think we should just jump into it.
Okay, jump in. Episode 1.
So I'll introduce the main character first because she's the first one we meet, and we kind of follow her for the first couple episodes.
Okay.
So the main character is Miu, M-I-U. If you look at a picture of the cast, she is the one who she's got like very short black hair. It looks like she hasn't brushed it in a couple days.
Oh,
it's very poofy. Mm-hmm. If I were to describe her personality in one word, it would be depressed as fuck.
Oh no.
So Sarah, we've talked in the past about people with main character energy. I want you to take that trope and just flip it completely upside down, and that's Miu.
Oh no, Miu.
She is the character with the least main character energy I've ever seen in an idol anime.
Oh, Miu.
She's a sad babby.
Does she stay sad? Tell me more.
We'll get to her.
Okay.
But so, our intro to Miu, the anime opens, it's winter, and we get some monologue from Miu. She's talking about she is sad. And she's very shy. It doesn't say it outright, but this girl has major depression and anxiety problems. Like, oh my god.
Oh no.
She works at a convenience store. She's got like these really long bangs and they kind of hang in her eyes, so some customers are a little bit creeped out by her. She has problems talking to other people. She's sad about it, but she's like, that's just the way I am. I can't really talk to other people.
I want to hug her.
She's a sad babu.
I want her to be okay.
Mm-hmm. And so during this whole narration scene, we get a brief flash forward to her being an idol. And she's like, I didn't know that within 1 year's time, my world would completely change and that the light from the people's passion would scorch me completely. And I'm like, that's very emo and kind of dark.
It is very emo. It's really metal, really.
Yeah. Speaking of emo, that's when the OP plays.
Okay, got it.
We get the opening, and I showed you the opening. You can find it on YouTube for folks listening to the podcast. It's extremely dramatic.
It's not a happy, fluffy idol intro.
It's not. I don't know what it is with me and always weeding out the dramatic idol shows, but it's my jam. It's my jam.
What happens after the intro, Star?
Oh, okay, first, before we escape from the intro, I want to point out that there is, in fact, a JoJo lean in the choreography.
Yeah.
They, like, do a full, like, lean backwards. I haven't really watched JoJo, but I know all the memes. And there's, like, just, like, one part of the choreography where she, like, goes fully horizontal from the waist up. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're going to fall over.
She's flexible.
She's very flexible, apparently. But, yeah, so we finish the OP. And so we find out a little bit more about Miu. She goes home. She lives with her mom and her little sister. Her little sister's like an elementary schooler. We don't see her much.
Little sister.
But her mom, it never says it outright, but it very strongly hints that she does not work.
Got it.
She's a very kind and loving mother, but you get the vibe that something's wrong with her, like she's sick or something.
Oh, no.
There's something up with her, and so that makes you think that Miu, this little girl working at a cash register, is probably the main breadwinner of her family.
Got it.
Miu, like, the one thing they do point out is Miu's one possession is she's got, like, a little electric keyboard.
Aww.
And a lot of times when she's just, like, her hands aren't really doing anything, you'll see her, like, kind of tapping around like she's playing invisible piano.
Good
and
job,
that's
Miu.
Important, so remember that. Put a pin in that.
Pinned.
Miu gets a letter.
Ooh.
It's this very ominous black envelope from a talent agency. And important to note, she did not audition. So this is just kind of...
hot singles in your area. Nigerian prince needs you to send $100 and he will marry you. That sort of thing?
Join our idol group. Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So she tries to brush it off, but she does end up going where the letter tells her to go. And Sarah, you gotta remind me, did you go to Ueno Zoo when you visited Japan?
We were outside of Ueno Zoo.
Okay.
We were in the park.
Okay. Because, yeah, a large part of this anime takes place in that area.
Okay.
For example, this next scene is at Ueno Zoo. Apparently the letter told them to meet in front of the gorilla exhibit.
Seems legit.
Seems legit. So Miyu goes and she's like, I don't know why I bothered coming here. This is ridiculous. There's no way I can be an idol. And then 7 other girls materialize.
I wonder how many letters were sent out. I wonder how many people just didn't show up because it was creepy.
Just the 8, actually. Whoa. Everyone who got the letter showed up.
That's impressive.
And that put a pin in that as well. So now I'm going to go over the characters, and I'm going to go over them in the order of the image that I sent you over Discord.
Okay.
So we have Miyu. Next up is Nicole.
Okay.
Which is a wild name for an anime character. So she has like short blonde hair. It's kind of like a chin length straight bob. She is the very serious one.
Okay, serious.
And she's the only one who is like actually wants to be an idol. That is her actual goal. Everybody else was kind of, they said, yeah, we got this male, we didn't audition, but they want us to be idols, shrug. Nicole is like, I actually do want to be an idol, and you guys all need to take it more seriously.
Got it.
That's kind of her personality.
Okay.
Next is Sakura. And like you said before, if you know anything about this show, you're probably familiar with this character's voice actress.
Yes.
Sally Amaki. She kind of gained some fame because she apparently grew up in Los Angeles and speaks perfect English. And so a lot of the group's popularity comes from her voice actress being very popular.
Yes, or at least popularity on this side of the pond.
Yes. So that's kind of how a lot of Americans and English speakers kind of got into this series. But Sakura, the character that she plays, has a similar backstory. She lived in America. She speaks English. She occasionally interjects with random English, but it's nice because she actually sounds legit.
And that's why she's blonde. It's because she's from America.
But it's weird because both her parents are Japanese.
Oh, you know, it happens. You know, I'm half Japanese and I was born with bright white hair.
You were not.
I was not.
That is a lie.
People can't see me. They don't know.
Yeah, sure. You're one of those white-haired anime boys. I'm going to have to change the character art I drew for the podcast.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, so she's cute. She follows the trend of idol characters with side ponytails.
I understand.
She's got like a little loopy-doo on one side of her head. Don't know why. It's just there. It's kind of cute though. So next is Ayaka. And I think she and Miyu are tied for my favorite after watching the whole thing.
Okay.
But here's the thing about her. I couldn't remember her name for the longest time, so I just kind of called her Donuts.
Because she has the little donut hair.
She's got little donut hairs. I'm so happy that you understood what I meant when I said that.
Yeah, little Nurse Joy hair.
Well, that and like her little... So for those who aren't looking at a picture, she has her hair it's like dark brown and kind of wavy, and she has 2 little like braid loopies on the side of her head. Like she braided her hair and then like just little sections of her hair, and then she pinned it up so it makes like a little circle on either side of her head. But it looks like the donuts they have at Mr. Donut that are just like a bunch of balls all strapped together. And so I'm like, oh, you're pondering.
I'm really proud of her.
I call her Donut Hair. Because
I
didn't remember. So if you hear me talking about Donut Girl, that's her. But I enjoy her. Her personality is a little bit hard to get a wrangle on, but she's a mangaka, apparently.
Oh, I see. Perfect for
and
dancing
like,
and singing.
She's like, my brand.
Your brand.
I'm a comic artist, too. I enjoy you already.
Obviously
but you find out she apparently joined because she wanted to get ideas for a manga.
Seems legit.
Seems legit. So her whole personality is like, she's pretty girly, but she's not like super happy Genki girly. She's like kind of more of a quote unquote cool and sexy.
Got it.
But she's still cutesy. She likes fashion.
Okay.
The next one is Reika. She's the one with the red hair. She ends up being the leader of the group. She's very kind of cool-headed. She's more mature. She's serious.
It's because she has red hair. That's why she's the leader.
Yes.
Got it.
Gotta have your red-haired leader. Mm-hmm. Red or brown hair, always the leader.
It's the rule.
Yep. So next is Jun. She is side ponytail baby.
I see.
She is the Genki happy yay one. But she also has the fucking saddest backstory, and we'll get to her.
Oh no.
This is going to be one of those shows where every character gets a backstory episode, and her episode made me cry like 3 times.
Got it. So it's like visual novel sort of thing where everyone has sad backstories.
Yup.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Okay.
But yeah, basically she's the most childish. I think she's also the youngest. She's a baby.
Okay.
Next is Akane, and you said when I showed you the OP that this was your favorite character.
Yeah, she's really cute, but I think I realized it's because she looks like my wife.
Oh my god, she does!
I think that's why she's my favorite.
Get Athena to cosplay her, oh my god!
I will. She looks just like my wife. It really threw me off after a second.
Okay, but yeah, so Akane, she's got like silvery blue hair. She's got like a little kind of half headband braid kind of going over the top of her head. She's got like a little poofy ball accessory. It's very cute.
Yes.
And she's got glasses.
Megane.
She's the Megane character. And her personality is she's very serious. Everyone kind of calls her the robot because she's not very emotional. She's very stoic. She's very punctual.
I love it.
She keeps a level head.
She's my wife.
Very Yes.
I mean, she looks like my real life wife. I want to interject. It's not like she's not like waifu material necessarily.
You need to get Athena to dye her hair this color.
I mean, she has had her hair that color. I think that's what made me.
I've only seen it more tealy.
Yeah, she had silver for a while.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay, yes. And then our last girl is Miyako.
Oh, she gives me cute.
She gives me big Ritsu Keion vibes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's kind of that personality type, and she doesn't really have bangs, so it's kind of a similar situation.
I would say that their character design is very Keion looking.
Yeah, it kind of does. So this was animated by A1, but I actually did some research. Apparently, the character designer used to work for Kyoto Animation.
Ah, I can see it.
She didn't work on the anime, but she worked on the character's original designs.
Yeah, I can see it. Especially like the eye shape. It's very
it threw me off multiple times because I'm like, that looks like a screen cap of Keion.
Yes.
But no, it's just one person in the production, apparently.
Got it.
Is an alumni of that organization.
That makes sense.
But yeah, so Miyako, her personality in one word is Osaka.
Amazing.
She speaks in such a thick accent, I can tell even without speaking very good Japanese that she's super Southern.
I love her.
She's like very loud, energetic. She's just like, yeah, we're all friends. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Whatever the Japanese version of yeehaw is, she says that.
I love it.
So we meet all the girls. They all kind of convene, and we have just a little moment of like they're all introducing themselves. And
what are the gorillas doing?
Vibing.
Oh, nice.
They're just kind of hanging out. But then, it's funny you mention that because then a big gorilla-looking character shows up.
In a gorilla suit?
No, in a regular suit.
Okay, got it.
So this, I say gorilla-looking because I think June, the side ponytail girl, actually thinks he's a gorilla because he's so tall and intimidating.
Uh-oh.
This dude is built like a brick shithouse.
Oh, no.
He reminds me of the Cinderella Girls producer, but bigger and more intimidating.
Lord, Cinderella Girls producer was opposite. Well, I mean, we'll get into Cinderella Girls. But
We'll have a Cinderella Girls episode eventually. But yeah, basically, meek. All you need to know about this dude is his name is Goda, but the subtitles spell it like Gouda, like the cheese.
Oh,
so I can't take him seriously. It's like, oh, it's Mr. Cheese Man.
Cheese.
But yeah, so he's got like a very deep voice. He's got little eyes. He's got very intimidating frame. He's wearing a black suit. And he's extremely intimidating. And he's like, you girls I work for GIP. I'm your manager. Come with me.
He seems trustworthy.
Extremely trustworthy.
I would get in a van with this strange man.
Yeah, but they don't go in a van. They go into a secret passage underneath the gorilla exhibit.
What? We should... See, this is what I missed out. I should have gone to Ueno Zoo.
Right? Because you might have been able to become an idol.
Well, not even that. I just want to go into a secret passage.
Right? It's funny, though, because we went to Ueno Zoo, and the gorilla exhibit doesn't look like this. Maybe it's been remodeled in the 4 months since I've been gone, but...
It's very possible.
Who knows? It doesn't really look like any area of the zoo that I'm familiar with.
Well, that's because you weren't in the secret passage.
Apparently. But yeah, so he takes them to like this weird underground secret passage. Oh, before this he says, there's no audition. You're not auditioning to be idols. We've already chosen you. There's no audition process. You guys are the ones we picked.
Seems legit.
It's like, wait, what? We're not going to audition? Then how do you know who we are? And he's like, I don't know, come with me.
Okay.
I'll explain everything in a minute.
Okay.
So he takes them to the secret passage underneath the zoo. And,
murders them.
No.
They murder him.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like this long concrete hallway that ends in this door, and he's got to swipe his ID card. The door opens up, and it's this fucking massive underground secret facility.
See, I worked at Disney, and this seems very plausible, actually.
Okay. Were the tunnels under Disney multiple floors?
They're like 2 floors at most, so...
This is like 6 floors.
Wow.
You see a floor... You get like a brief montage of them touring the facility, and it's like 6 floors, and they have like professional dance and music studios. It's got offices. It's got a cafe.
What?
This place is wild, and it's all underground. It's like 6 or 7 stories.
That's a lot. That's a whole situation.
Yeah, it's a lot. So he's like giving them the tour. It's like a little montage, and then they end up in the final room, which is this weird room. It's kind of diamond shaped, like the Chaos Emerald diamonds.
Okay.
Where it's like flat on one side.
Got it.
And so it's very dramatic. It's got like these stairs. It's like a lounge area, but it doesn't look like... It's like inside of a church almost, if a church was underground and had no windows.
Okay.
And the back wall is the wall.
The wall.
The wall. And it's like this brick wall, but with like this big gold ornamental like sculpture kind of laid into it. So it's like this big dramatic room that leads up to this wall. And that's when Goda, the manager dude, drops the bomb that the wall is the one in charge of the whole thing.
Oh gosh. This is
the
a cult.
Wall, the line he repeats all the time is the will of the wall is absolute. We must follow its orders.
So is this a horror anime?
It's a cult. They definitely joined a cult, Sarah.
Yeah, this is
like
terrifying.
We're not even halfway through the first episode. This shit's a cult. You have been recruited into an idol cult. This is how it starts.
This is terrifying.
But basically, apparently what happens is the wall will spit out orders, like on these little metal cards, and then the entire agency has to do what the wall says, basically.
I mean, if the wall made them enough money to have a big underground facility, I guess they'll trust the wall.
I mean, right? Like, where's this money coming from?
Right?
And it's just like, what in the world is happening here? So the girls are all... like, yeah, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean the wall, like, gives you orders? And Goda's just like, we gotta follow the wall, dude. It's the wall.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's the wall.
Yeah, sure. The wall. Right.
And so Nicole takes this point, the serious one, the idol one. Mm-hmm. She takes this point and says, we've been given a chance to be idols. We should take it. But everyone else is kind of like, seems sus. Miu leaves.
That's a really good idea.
She just walks out without saying anything.
Good idea. Glad you got away. The end.
But Goda actually like finds her at the end of the secret passage when she's leaving, and he's like, "You have a week before idol activities start. You'll be back."
Oh gosh, this is really scary.
he's like, I'm telling you right now, you'll be back. Practice starts in a week.
Oh boy. Okay.
And so she leaves.
Yeah.
The next day, she loses her part-time job.
Because of the wall.
Well, no, because she has bad customer service.
I think the wall did it. I
Probably.
blame the wall.
Probably, right? And so her boss, you get the scene where she gets fired and the boss has to like give her the speech. And she's like, no, please, I really, really need this job. And the boss tells her, like, you people have been complaining about your teamwork and that you're kind of creeping out our customers. And here's the thing about being an adult. Being an adult means that sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do. That's why they call it work.
Like join a cult.
Like join a cult, yes.
Got it.
So Miu gets desperate, but she doesn't immediately go back to the idol group. She goes to sell her keyboard.
Oh, no.
Like the one thing she has. You can tell she really likes music, and like her little sister is like, when are you going to play music for me again? And she's like, don't say that. I don't know.
I sold my keyboard so I didn't have to go to the wall. I sold my wall so I can buy you some music for your keyboard.
Gift of the idols.
Gift of the idols.
But so she goes to sell her keyboard, and they give her like $10 for it.
Just like GameStop.
It's just like GameStop. The excuse they give is that it's really old and kind of crappy and that she's not going to get a lot of money for it anywhere else. Aww. So a week goes by And so important to note, she doesn't tell her family that she got fired. She just kind of plays it off like everything's still fine. Mm-hmm. But then, 7 days later, when Goda said she'd be back, all the rest of the girls are back in that underground room, and the manager Goda's there, and she storms in, and she's like, fine, you want me to be a fucking idol? Fine, because I have to take care of my family, because they're the most important thing to me, and if being an idol means that I can help my family, then fine, I'll be the best fucking idol you've ever seen, god damn it.
Wow, there's a lot of cursing in this anime.
That's just me, I have a sailor mouth.
You have a Texas
but that's
mouth.
like the basic gist. It's like, she goes off for several minutes.
Whoa.
About how it's like, idols are stupid, I hate idols, all they do is like shake their butts for people's attention, but if that's what it takes, if I have to be an idol to take care of my precious family, then fine, I'll be the best idol ever. Bring it. And that's where episode 1 leaves off.
Got it.
Oh, no, wait, one more thing before episode 1. As she says this, the entire room starts glowing yellow and like this big gong goes off.
Oh, boy.
And the wall spits out an order. It's like a little metal like index card. It says, welcome to 22-7.
This is terrifying. I hate this.
So I watched that at like midnight when I couldn't sleep, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And I rolled over and I went to sleep.
Is this just something someone dreamed and they're like, yeah, this would make a good show?
This is a fever dream idol show, basically.
Wow, okay.
So that's the first episode, and there's a lot that happens in that episode that you just have to be okay with for you to watch the rest of the show.
Apparently.
And that's why it took me, like, I watched the first episode when it first came out, and I didn't finish the show until it finished airing.
Yeah, there's
basically.
a lot there.
Yeah, so episode 2.
Okay.
Episode 2 picks up pretty much exactly where episode 1 leaves off. First thing, the girls are all given a uniform, which is like the little gray dresses that you see in that picture I sent you.
Got it.
That's their uniform, and he basically says, anytime that you are in this building, you need to wear this.
Okay.
Which, like, hello, cult uniforms, okay.
Right, okay.
And then a couple of the girls are from out of town, like the one, Miyako, she's from Osaka, so the ones who live too far away to commute, they get a dorm
Okay.
for themselves. We don't really see the dorm very much.
Move
but
away from your family, live underground, seems legit.
The dorm is not underground, the dorm's a
Okay.
regular apartment building.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, so, and they basically say, it's like, okay, so we're going to start your idol activity soon. There's a brief scene where Nicole, the serious idol one, she confronts Miyu, and is like, if you hate idols so much, you should just leave.
Got it.
She gives off very bitchy vibes.
She doesn't pay attention to the wall, basically, which is the most important thing you can do if you're an idol.
I mean, the thing is, like, she was the only one who was like, we should listen to it because I want to be an idol. Was the basic vibe of what she was saying.
Got
It's
it.
like, she's like, this is weird, but this is an opportunity, so we should take advantage of it.
Okay.
And so she doesn't like that Miyu gave this whole speech about why she hates idols. She's like, you need to take this more seriously.
Got it.
She, like, kabedons her. Like, pushes her up
Oh.
against the wall.
This is intense.
Yeah, she's very intense, like, kind of bitchy vibes. And you learn more about her later, but it's weird, and I'll get back to that.
Okay. It's weird as expected, so go ahead.
So the next thing is they go through a judging. So this is not an audition because they're all already there. This is just like deciding their positions in the group.
Okay.
And we don't see too much of this. The two important things, I suppose, is that Nicole is amazing.
Okay.
Like, everyone else points out is like, wow, she's such a good singer and dancer. She was really incredible. She'll probably get picked for center. And Miyu is terrible. She can't sing above a whisper. We don't see her dancing, but it's implied it's also terrible. But then they all go back to the room where the wall is, and the wall spits out an order. Miyu's the center.
Uh-oh.
And Nicole is pissed.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah, but so she like starts screaming at the wall. She's mad, and then the manager is like, confronting the wall is not permitted.
Oh my gosh.
You're not allowed to go against what the wall says.
I
and so
hate this.
Nicole like storms off. She's mad.
Me too.
And then Miyu gets depressed.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's just like, oh god, why me? So she ditches practice for a couple days. The girls like start having like their dance and vocal lessons, and Nicole goes, but Miyu ditches.
Got it.
she also still has not told her mom that she got laid off and that she started doing iDOL stuff.
Okay.
Which is going to be important very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So then Sakura, the blonde American one, she goes to Miyu's house randomly to give her a pep talk.
Okay.
And there is a very wild line here. They go outside of Miyu's little apartment complex, and there's like a park down below. And she says a line along the lines of, wow, so this is an apartment complex? We don't have things like this in America.
Wow, we don't.
We don't.
I've never seen anything like that before.
I say as I sit in my apartment right now.
Do you have the wall in your apartment?
Why was this line allowed to be there?
It's so strange.
Why do people think we don't have apartments in America?
I don't know.
It's wild. But yeah, so she gives Miyu a little pep talk. She kind of talks about how he's like, you should enjoy being an idol because it's nice.
Okay.
And then, Sarah, you would enjoy this.
Uh-huh.
These two are like the main ship.
Oh, I see.
So Sakura hugs Miyu and goes, it's like, I love you, Miyu. But it's like she drops the big D Daisuke in the second episode.
Wow.
They've known each other for like a week.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so Miyu is shocked.
Yeah.
And Sakura is just like giving her a hug. And then turns out all the other girls, except for Nicole, are also there. They were hiding in the bushes.
Oh boy.
And they were like, we followed Sakura here because we were worried about you and we wanted to make sure you were okay.
Okay.
And then, so they walk to the station and they leave, and Sakura gives Miyu her phone number. I wrote in my notes, gay, with a lot of
Heck
A's.
yeah. Here's my number. Call me someday.
Yeah, and then, so Miyu at some point goes to an ATM, and she sees she has money in her bank account.
The wall gave her money.
Her first paycheck from the wall.
Thank you, the wall.
And she buys her little sister a bag of pastries.
Aw, pure.
And she's like, we have money. Oh my god. And so the next day she shows up for work.
That's a big reason.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, money. Money and friendship. And so when they walk into the office, Sakura goes and holds her hand. And then I wrote in my notes, gay in all caps. In episode 2, she got the Daisuke and the handhold in the second episode.
I mean, this would be really cute if it wasn't for all the other culty vibes, which makes me think that, you know, like, sisters and trial and...
Ooh, boy, yeah. So, the last few bits of this episode are, Miyu goes to talk to Nicole again. Is like, I don't really like idols, but since I was chosen to be the center, I'm gonna do my best, and I hope you'll respect that. And Nicole's just like, whatever.
Okay.
The epilogue is that Miyu's mom gets a letter from the talent agency. And the letter says, it's an invitation, and it says, I have something to show you about Miyu.
This is really creepy.
It's extremely creepy, but we gotta keep going.
Okay, keep going, keep going.
Okay, so episode 3. It's a silly little thing they do before the opening, but Miyako, the Osaka girl, she buys like this weird fat cat plushie with glasses, and she names it Kabe-chan, which is wall. Kabe in Japanese is wall, and she puts it up on, like, in front of the wall, like the actual wall, and so she's like, now it's less creepy.
Oh, that's really good. Does it stay up there?
It stays up there for the entire series, and so this cat becomes the personification of the wall, and, like, they take it to the beach episode later.
Wow. Okay, there's a beach episode. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Every anime has a beach episode. Okay.
So at the beginning of the episode, the wall spits out a new order. The girls are going to do a debut concert.
Okay.
So they have practice. There's a couple scenes showing they practice. Miyu still kind of sucks.
Oh.
Because she has no confidence. And Nicole confronts her in the bathroom and, like, does this really aggressive, like, forehead grab. It's like, you need to get your bangs out of your face, because if you aren't confident, it's going to make the rest of us look not confident, and you'll make us all look bad.
Wow, okay.
And so she gives her, like, this little barrette. Is like, pin your hair back. And she walks away. And Miyu is surprised because it's like this little bunny hair clip. It's actually pretty cute.
Aw, okay.
It's kind of like the little bow that I drew on you for your idol character art for the podcast cover.
Okay, got it. Cute.
But it doesn't have a bow. It's just a little bunny.
Okay.
So now it's there's a very quick scene where the mom asks Miyu, how's work? And Miyu's like, it's good. Miyu doesn't know that her mom got an invite to their concert.
Okay.
And she still hasn't told her mom that they got laid off.
This is a lot.
So now it's concert day.
Yay.
It's a pretty small venue. They say there's about 200 seats. It's like a little movie theater.
Estimate how much time has passed since they're scouting?
They said it was a month.
Okay.
So you don't really get a whole lot of that. It just says we have a concert in a month.
Okay.
So two important things happen before the concert starts that are definitely Chekhov's guns.
Okay.
Which means that they will be important later.
They get a gun.
No.
There are more gorillas.
Sarah, this is an Idolmaster. There's no guns in this show.
It's only guns in Idolmaster, that's true.
There's only guns in Idolmaster. But yeah, so the venue was booked pretty quickly on short notice, and the sound system isn't great, and it's kind of dodgy.
Come on, The Wall. You can plan events better than that.
Well, The Wall doesn't plan events. The Wall just tells them what to do, and then the rest of the company has to scramble to do what it says.
Okay.
So if The Wall says we have a concert on this date, they have to find a venue to do a concert on that date.
I just feel like The Wall needs to be more specific.
Yeah, it's weird. Just pretend like it makes sense.
Okay, got it.
You got to do that a lot in this show.
Okay, it seems like...
Okay, and then the second important thing is there's a grand piano in the wings, like backstage.
Oh.
And the girls kind of comment on it, and you kind of see Miu looking at it longingly. She's like, oh, I sold my piano, but I'm sad.
Yes.
So then they perform. They've actually managed to fill this whole area, like this whole venue.
Are they like normal people who are watching?
Yeah, they're normal people. They imply that they're like quote unquote hardcore idol fans.
So they're not like in robes and chanting sort of.
No,
okay.
they're normal dudes. And you see Miu's mom in the audience. Dun dun dun.
Uh-oh.
She's like one of the only ones without the little Wodagay glow sticks.
Okay.
She's just watching, judging. So Miu, we get her internal dialogue while they do the whole dance number. And this is actually a unique dance number in that it's partially 2D animated because you get a lot of close-ups on the girls.
Okay.
Mostly Miu because she's got her internal dialogue. There's one point where Sakura kind of turns and winks at Miu and I'm like, God, you're gay.
Wink. Nice.
It's very cute. I can find you this clip on YouTube later.
Okay.
But, so Miu's like, wow, it's so bright, I can't really see, but this is actually kind of fun. I wonder what my mom would think if she found out about this. I wonder if I'd be able to continue being an idol if my mom found out about this. And then her eyes adjust to the light and she sees her mom and her heart skips a beat. Like there's a dramatic sound effect like, bum bum.
Mom's there.
Yeah, and so she like stumbles a little bit, but she's like, oh God, my mom is here, why is she here?
Yeah.
They pause between songs and they're doing a little bit of MC. And they're like, okay, Miu, what about you? What's your intro? And she's completely frozen up. Like her bangs are covering her whole face. And she's like, I'm Miu. And she's like not talking and the audience is kind of reacting. They're like, what's wrong with her? Can she not talk?
Oh no.
And so the people backstage are like, this is bad. Just skip to the next song. And so they start the next song immediately. Miu's still frozen in place until Sakura yells at her. Is like, Miu, the next song started. And she's like, oh shit. And so they're doing their song. It's kind of like this dramatic, more ballad type song. Mm-hmm. It's actually a nice song. I'll send it to you later.
Yes.
But halfway through the song, what happens, Sarah? You want to guess?
Okay, so the sound system shorts. And then there's a big
that's
explosion,
exactly what happens.
And then the grand piano falls on the audience. And then the idols escape and they take the wall down.
That's not till episode 12.
Okay.
But you were right on one point. The sound system does short out.
Womp womp.
The audience kind of starts murmuring. All the girls panic. They've apparently never heard the phrase, the show must go on, and that even if the sound system breaks, you're supposed to keep singing like it's fine. They've never heard that before. And so they all panic and freeze up. And everyone's panicking. They're like, oh no, our idol days are over. And Sakura starts crying.
Oh no, can't have her cry.
And Miu is like, my girlfriend's crying. I gotta fix it. And so she runs into the wings and she sits at the piano and she uses that pin that Nicole gave her and she pins her hair back and she plays the piano.
Wow.
And she plays the song and everyone's like, wait, this is the song. And so they all start singing and then they're like, quick, put a camera on Miu and play her on the projector so the audience can see her. And this actually got me to cry, I will admit. Because it's such like it's a very touching scene because it's like you've never seen Miyu be confident. And now suddenly she's like, you see her face like on the projector as she's playing piano and she's smiling and her hair's pinned back. You can see her face and she's confident. And I wrote in my notes, go baby, go.
I'm so proud of her. Nothing like a good piano song to make you cry. This,
yeah, also it's just like a good song.
Yeah, like this and Your Lie in April, you know, just some feel good.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she, like, this is kind of her turning point.
Oh, I'm proud of her.
And so after that song, the girls drag her back on stage. He's like, you want to try that MC again now that the audience loves you? And Miyu takes the mic and she kind of spills her guts knowing that her mom's in the audience. And she's like, a month ago, I used to work at a convenience store, but I got fired. I originally didn't want to be an idol. I didn't think it would suit me, but more than anything, I wanted this concert to go well because this is where I'm meant to be. I'm like, that's a little strong, but all right.
Well, I mean, she held hands with the Sakura earlier.
She held hands with Sakura. Her girlfriend's here.
She got to help her out.
And then after the concert, she gets a text from her mom that says, I have mixed feelings. We'll talk more at home, but you looked so happy when you played the piano.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that they're communicating.
Yep. She texts her mom a lot. You see her on her phone a lot.
Well, that's good. Because one sign of a cult is making you stop communicating with your friends and family. So I'm glad that she's a little bit safe.
Yeah, she still has her mom. And so you expect that whole I have mixed feelings line is going to come back in the next episode and be important, right?
Yeah, it seems like. Oh, okay.
Nope, we just kind of completely brush over it. And her mom's okay with her being an idol and it never comes up again.
This is fine.
That's fine. Because you know what? Miyu had 3 episodes about her.
That's true.
So now we're going to yeet her to the sideline for the next 6 episodes. And we're barely going to see her because it's time for the backstory episodes to start.
Ooh, who's first?
Sakura is first.
Oh, America.
Yup, America. Fuck yeah.
Heck yeah.
So the next several episodes follow a pattern of they flip back and forth between what is happening in the present day and what is happening in the past, like their dramatic backstories. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to, rather than switch back and forth between them, I'm just going to go over what happens in the flashback and then what's happening in the real time.
Okay.
And how it relates.
Okay.
Because usually it's like there's some reason they're showing you this backstory that has to do with what's happening in the present day.
Yes. Drive the narrative a little bit.
So we have Sakura's episode first. She is America girl.
America.
So her backstory is that she lived with her parents and her grandma in a big house in America.
Because they don't have apartments in America, so
they don't have apartments in America, and apparently her family's like super rich or some shit.
Got it.
Her grandma is in a wheelchair. Her grandma's name is also Sakura.
Nice.
Every spring, she takes little baby Sakura up a big hill that Sakura has to push her up. And because there's a big cherry blossom tree, a big Sakura tree at the top of the hill.
Well, that's appropriate.
And she's like, we have a lot of these in Japan. I hope you get to see them someday.
Okay.
And Sakura's like, wow, I'm sure am happy I was named after this tree because it's so pretty. And one day I want to go to Japan and I want to see all the pretty Sakura trees.
Got it.
But then a few years later, the grandma passes away.
So this is all like the intro to Up, right?
Basically.
Going up a hill.
It's scattered throughout the episode.
Got it.
It's not, I'm describing it as though it's all one thing, but you get like, there's multiple scenes of this interstitialing between what's happening in real time.
Just from the way you described it, Grandma had death flags at the beginning.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, so then when Sakura gets the letter inviting her to be an idol, she asks her parents and she says, it's like, I really want to go to Japan because I want to see grandma's homeland. And it's very emotional.
Oh.
Because you get the vibe, like, she must have been born in America because you get the vibe she's never been into Japan before.
So wait, she flies to Japan because of this letter?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So I guess her parents were okay with that. But we'll okay, put a pin in that. Put a pin in her parents. We'll get back to that at the end of the episode.
Okay.
So in the present day, the girls are gonna do a photo shoot for a magazine cover.
Okay.
And it's spring now, so there's a lot of cherry blossoms. And so they're going to go... This must be a real place, but I'm not familiar with it. I didn't write down the name. But it's like some very, very fancy area that has like thousands of cherry blossom trees.
Cool.
And so they're going to go do their photo shoot there. But there's like travel delays. Their train is delayed, and then it's raining. And like basically everything that could go wrong does go wrong.
Come on, The Wall. You can do better than this.
Yeah, like by the time they get there, the sun's going down. And it's like, well, shit. But Sakura is like, no, we have to do this photo shoot because I really, really, really wanted to come here. And after the rain, all the sakura blossoms are going to be gone because that's how it works. The sakura flowers are so delicate, they fall off after like a week because usually that's when the Japanese rainy season starts. Lived through that twice. Petals everywhere. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so she's like, we got to do it today because by tomorrow all the flowers will be gone. And so she actually runs out in the rain to go see the cherry blossoms, and then everyone else ends up following her. But then the people from the photo shoot are like, well, wait, we could actually get some pretty nice photos of you guys doing this because the sun's coming through the rain clouds now. And so you get like this montage of them taking like in the pouring rain, but like the sun's coming through the clouds and there's like flower petals falling.
Oh,
it's actually, it's pretty nice.
That sounds
and
cute.
Like the girls are in their uniforms, but they're all wet. And so it's like, haha, we're just having fun because we're idols and we're doing stuff.
Yeah.
There's one photo that you see Miyu and Sakura take where Sakura is pinning Miyu's hair back with the clip she got from Nicole.
Aww.
And it's extremely gay.
That's so cute. Good girls.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. This is a good bit. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the episode, you see a text from Sakura's family, and you realize she hasn't told anyone this, but her parents gave her a deadline. It's like, you have to come back to America in 1 year.
Whoa, she must have a good visa.
Yeah, right?
The Wall is a good employer.
If you're there for work, then theoretically you can get a work visa. That's what I had to do.
I'm just saying that The Wall must be an LLC. The Wall must be licensed. The Wall probably pays Japanese taxes.
The Wall is going to get arrested for... How do you arrest a Wall for tax fraud?
That's a real question, ain't it?
Yep. Okay, so that's episode 4. Episode 5 is Miyako's episode.
Okay.
And so I'm actually going to say what happens to her... So her backstory.
Which one is Miyako again?
She's the one with Ritsu energy. She's got like the no bangs and like the
Osaka.
Messy ponytail. Yeah, she's the Osaka character. So her backstory is she comes from a big family. She's the oldest of 7 kids, almost all of them are from different marriages.
Okay.
Her mom's been married and divorced 4 times and is a single mom raising 7 children.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. But her whole thing, she gives me Yayoi vibes, but like way more intense and also southern.
Yayoi.
Mm-hmm. And so her thing is that like she has to kind of help her siblings get along because they fight a lot. And so her thing is like, sometimes we don't get along, but we learn to overcome our differences. And she makes them okonomiyaki,
Aww.
which is like that Japanese pancake. And her whole thing is like, we may not seem like we go together, but if you stick us all in an okonomiyaki grill and flip us over, we'll be just fine.
That sounds delicious.
Yep. And so, oh God, every time I want okonomiyaki.
I understand.
I only got to eat it a handful of times while I was in Japan, and it's so good. And I want to try and make it at home because it's good.
You should. Cabbage is cheap.
Oh, you're right. Mm-hmm. I need to look up a recipe. I want to do this. I want to make okonomiyaki. But yeah, so her thing is she wants to be a fashion designer.
Okay.
But she doesn't want to abandon her family, but she wants to go to Tokyo because she thinks she'll be able to get a better education there.
Makes sense.
She gets the invite and she almost doesn't go, but her mom finds out about the invite and she like gives her like $1,000 and says, take this, your mom saved up this money and worked hard for you, so go be an idol in Tokyo. That money should be enough to get you set up there.
That's cute.
It's pretty cute. There's also a bit where she's trying to find her dad that her mom divorced so that he can like help take care of the family when she's gone and she's not able to find him. And this doesn't really go anywhere. Yeah. It's just another part of her backstory. She's sad because she doesn't have a dad.
Oh, that's, you know, who needs them?
And like at the end of the episode, she thinks she sees him out of the corner of her eye, but it's not him.
Oh, mysterious.
And that's really all we get of that. That doesn't go anywhere.
Maybe her dad is the Wall.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Just my theories.
I'm just gonna be the. I know they say yes and in improv, but I'm gonna be the no here because no.
Okay.
So the main story, what's actually happening in real life in the real time moment, is that the girls get to perform at like this big idol festival. It's like Idol Festival Tokyo or something. It's apparently a real life event. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's just like a spoof of a real life event. I don't know. It's a big music festival for idols, basically. And the day before they perform, they do like a little interview section with a bunch of other groups on stage. And so the MC is trying to get them to tell silly stories about each other. And they realize they don't have any silly stories about each other because they don't actually know each other that well.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, except for the two of them who have held hands.
Yeah, the gay ones, yeah. So Miyako realizes that this is a problem, and so she invites everyone to their dorm to make for an okonomiyaki party.
Yeah, I love it.
And so she's like, all of us, we're like the ingredients of an okonomiyaki. Like this fish came from this prefecture, and the cabbage was grown in this prefecture. So we all come from different backgrounds, but if you mix us up in the okonomiyaki broth, you put us on a fan and you flip us over, it comes out to one awesome pancake.
You see, she has one metaphor, but she uses it well.
Yeah, and so this actually becomes their, like, put your hands in the center and do a little cheer before your concert performance thing. Oh,
cute.
So each character is an ingredient in okonomiyaki.
I love that.
And so they say their ingredient when they put their hands in the circle. And so then when all of their hands are in the circle, they flip all their hands over and then they go, just flip it over. 22-7. They put their hands in the air.
That is so cute. I like that.
It's really, really cute, actually.
I love that.
There's one other thing I want to mention about this episode. At the party, I forget which character does it. I don't think it's Sakura, but somebody like boops Miyu on the cheek like unprompted. Just like boop, pokes her in the cheek. And she brings this up during the MC. And she's like, oh yeah, last night one of the girls booped me. And the MC's like, what do you mean boop? And she kind of puts her finger on her face and is like, like boop. And there's like this moment of silence, and then the entire audience loses their minds.
I mean, it's like, really funny.
So cute.
He is cute.
And this got a laugh out of me, I will admit. It was pretty funny.
Boop.
She's like, just like boop.
Cute.
And there's like a beat, and then it's a big pan out to see the entire audience at this festival, and they're like, yeah, boop. Yeah, boop.
Boop.
It was cute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next, episode 6. We're halfway through. This is Reika's episode. She's the red-haired one.
Okay, the center.
She's not the center. She's the leader.
Oh, the
Miyu
leader.
is the center.
Right, Miyu center.
Yeah. So, Reika's backstory is sad.
Aww.
But also bizarre.
Sounds
good. The first scene of this is that you see Reika in the NICU. As a baby.
Yeah, she's a preemie.
Yeah, so she's like very sick. They don't really say what happened to her, but she's in one of the little baby incubators and she's got a lot of wires hooked up to her. Mm-hmm. And like you hear her flatline for a hot second. They're like, oh shit, oh shit. And the nurses are running around and her parents are watching through the window.
Okay.
And like her mom is standing up. The mom looks fine. You would not know that the mom is sick unless someone told you, which they do. They tell the doctor basically comes in and says, if both you and your baby were to survive, it would be a miracle.
Wow. All right.
And it's like, but the mom she apparently survived childbirth. Does it take that long to kill you? I thought you usually died in the process if that was going to be the problem.
There are a lot of afterbirth complications.
I guess that's fair, but yeah, it doesn't really say what the problem with the mom is, but they made it sound like one of you has to die and it's going to be either you or your baby. And that's kind of how they frame it, and it was weird.
That's mean. That's a bad thing for the doctor to say.
Odd. And so you see the mom like praying, and she's like, she's like, we'll raise our daughter to be just and noble. Please save my daughter. And then you cut to the mom is dead.
Oh, goodbye.
So Reika's mom dies.
Yeah.
And she looks just like her mom.
Okay.
Like, her mom has the same hairstyle and everything.
I mean, if they don't have the same hairstyle, how do you know they're related?
Exactly. So it time skips to the present day, or I guess a little bit earlier because it's before she's an idol. She's basically taking care of her single dad, and her dad's kind of wishy-washy. He's like, I want to raise you to be a good daughter, but like you get the vibe. He kind of sucks at his job, and like she does all the housework.
Got it.
And like she makes him breakfast, and he's like, he's not like an abusive dad. He smiles a lot, and he obviously loves her, but he's just not very good at life.
Got it.
And so her whole thing is she wants to hurry up and get a really good job so that her dad can basically relax.
That makes sense.
After having to raise her by himself.
So it's more like dad's having trouble being a single parent.
Basically, yeah.
Got it.
It's like he loves his daughter very much, but he's very overworked and he's not very good at his job.
Got it.
I think he's like a plumber or something.
Oh, that's bad. That's a bad job to be bad at.
Yeah. Anyway, so the present day story. Hey, Sarah, what does every anime need?
Beach episode!
Beach episode. This is the beach episode. And it's a beach episode because they're doing a beach photo shoot in swimsuits.
Do their swimsuits at least look different than this gray uniform?
Yes, the swimsuits are all individual.
Good.
You can tell they didn't buy their swimsuits themselves because Reika is given a bikini and she doesn't want to wear it.
Oh, okay.
And, like, everybody else is kind of okay with it. Like, they're like, yes, this is a little embarrassing, but, you know, we gotta do this because the wall said so. And, like, it's important for idols, is, like, it'll be good for our public image, etc. But Reika just, like, hides on the tour bus the whole time.
Yeah.
And one at a time, the girls kind of come up and give her little pep talks.
Okay.
Nicole's very, like, serious with her, is like, this is still honorable work for an idol. Do you think your dad won't be okay with it? And she's like, no, I'm sure he'll be fine. It's just awkward. And so all of them kind of give her various pep talks. And the one who actually convinces her is Akane, who's the gray-haired robot girl.
Got it.
And she actually, like... It's wild. She, like, apparently keeps, like, a little six-sided die on her at all times, which means that she at some point shoved it into her swimsuit.
Wow, amazing.
And, like, there's actually a line about that, and she's like, there's something that I keep on my person at all times. Here, I'll give it to you. And she, like, reaches into her bikini top. It's not sexy. You don't actually see her do it, but it's like, Reika has a line. It's like, wow, you put it in your swimsuit? And she's like, well, it's part of my body. I don't see why not. It's like she's keeping it in the side boob, apparently. And it's not a big dice, it's like a little one.
I'm just saying, if you go into the water and the beach like that, you're going to lose that die.
Yeah, right? And so she's like, okay, so here's a dice. Roll an odd number, you do the swimsuit photo shoot. Roll an even number, you don't do it.
Okay.
But if you don't do it, we can't guarantee that we will continue to succeed as an idol group. And if we do it, we're pretty much guaranteed success because the wall says the wall's like our strategist, and if the wall says this will help, then if we do what the wall says, then we'll be good.
I'm team wall right now.
Because you want her in the swimsuit?
No, I just trust the wall. Obey the wall. Follow the wall.
There's a later scene where they're like, the wall is our master strategist.
Oh my god.
Because, like, as long as we follow the wall's orders, we'll be successful idols.
This is like,
it's like you
guys breath away. This is like 1 inch away from being a horror movie.
No, it's definitely a cult, and no one seems to be talking about that. But so the twist here is that she comes out in the swimsuit, and Akane is like, oh, so you rolled an even number? Or whatever it was, and she's like, yeah, it turns out that fate was on our side. And we pan back to the bus, and it turns out she rolled the number for don't do the photo shoot, but she decided to do it anyway because she wants to be a good idol.
Wow, what a good idol.
Yeah. So that's her thing.
I'm proud of her.
Oh, and then there's like one gag that repeats a couple times of, I think it's June, the little girl with the side ponytail, and Miyako, the Osaka girl, and they like pray to the titties.
Sounds good.
And so, like, it's less gross because it's girls doing it, but I'm just like, all right.
It's a very anime beach episode thing to happen, yes.
Yeah, it's gross, but I will admit that it did get a chuckle out of me because they're just like, the girls come out in their swimsuits and they're like, look at our bikini swimsuits. And then they just like appear in front of them and they're doing like prayer hands and they're like, thank you for this gift.
Oh my gosh.
Like, y'all get out.
Oh, that's really good though.
Yeah, it was pretty, I laughed. I will admit that I laughed at that. It wasn't gross. It was played more as like a just comedy moment than like lewd grossness.
Anime
so I'm okay
beach
with it.
Episode humor.
Beach episode. So now that the beach episode is complete, it's time for the saddest episode.
Hot Springs episode. That's always the sad.
No, the Hot Springs episode is later.
Oh, thank God.
This is.
That was a
Were
shot
you worried there wasn't going to be a Hot Springs episode? I was really worried.
No,
don't worry, Sarah. We cover all of our bases in this one. Okay, good. No sports episode, but being an idol is kind of a sport, so...
Yeah, that's fine.
I'd say that's a pass. Anyway, so this is June's episode. Okay. This is Side Ponytail Happy Genki Baby Child.
Yes, short girl.
And this is the one that destroyed me.
Oh, no.
Like, this is the... So, you saw on Twitter that, like, oh, no, I like this show now. It's my brand.
Uh-oh.
This is the one that I watched this and I immediately, that's what I posted on Twitter.
Okay.
Because this was the one that like, okay, I'm officially invested now because this is done. It's very predictable and it's very cliche, but it still got me because I'm a fucking sap.
Okay, I'm ready. Tell me. Let me dig in.
So I'm going to tell you the not sad part first.
Okay.
I'm going to tell, so the main story, what's actually happening in real life, is it opens on all the girls and they're just kind of hanging out, and then what's main character's name, Miyu, like her vision goes blurry and she just passes out.
Oh no.
And then everybody else is like, oh no, Miyu, what's wrong? But then everybody else also passes out.
It was the wall.
And no, actually it was different. I'll tell you in a sec.
Carbon monoxide.
So the only one left standing is June, Side Ponytail Baby Child.
Okay.
And she's like, wait, what happened? Everybody else dies. And then we play the OP.
Okay.
So it just looks like everyone died.
Yeah.
But it turns out we cut back to the actual show after the opening. And everybody has food poisoning.
Oh, no. It's like Airplane. I guess they all ate the chicken.
Yep. The company bought them snacks. And they were like coffee-flavored jelly or something. But June didn't eat it because she doesn't like bitter snacks. Oh. And so she's the only one who does not get terrible food poisoning.
Well.
But the rest of the girls all have stuff lined up for the next several days, but they all have to go on bed rest until they're better.
How many bathrooms does the bunker have?
Don't know.
Okay.
But also not all of the girls live in the dorm.
Oh, that's true.
So, no. We don't see them again for the rest of the episode until the very end.
Okay.
So they're just out of commission. But, like, Osaka Girl has her radio show, and they have a mini concert and a shopping center planned, and they have, like, interviews, and they have to do signatures, and so the producer, Goda, is just like, okay, June, you're the only one we have left, you gotta do all of it.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And so, like, they go to the live show, like a stage performance, and June just, like, she's like, yeah, so everybody else is sick, so I'm the only one that's here, but it's okay because I'll just do impressions of the rest of them and it'll be just like they're actually here.
I love it. I love her.
And the audience ends up getting into it, and so she's on the radio show, and she's signing other people's autographs while she's recording for the radio show.
That's funny.
And the host comments on it, is like, hey, what you doing there? And she's like, signing autographs because everyone else is dead.
Rip.
And she's like, if you want one of these, like, signatures, you better come to our event tomorrow. And so she does this, like, the whole episode. And backstage, she's, like, exhausted. She's, like, she sits down to eat her lunch, but then it's time to go to the next event, and she doesn't get to eat her lunch. And she's like, no, my lunch!
The true tragedy, missing lunch.
My bento! Yeah. But at the end of the episode, everybody comes back. And they're like, wow, June, how did you manage it? We heard you on the radio and we heard that the performance went really well. How did you do it? And she's like, you guys, I missed you, but that was so much fun. And she smiles, but she's just like happy everybody's back and it's cute.
Aw. So tell me the sad part.
So the sad part is that this baby was born a sad baby.
Oh, no.
She had a very intense respiratory illness.
Oh, no.
She basically, like, every time she tried to go to school, she would usually have to go home early because she would just, like, cough too much. And it's, like, not like a deep throaty cough, but just, like, I had, like, the cringy pains listening to the actress, like, cough in the show. And I'm just like, oh, God, that sounds painful. Poor baby. And she's just, like, coughing for, like, several minutes straight. And, like, she has a little inhaler. And it's really bad. It doesn't say what she has, but whatever it is, it's very debilitating.
Got it.
And so she's like, I couldn't really go to school, so I had no friends. My life was just a long series of hospital stays.
Oh, no.
And so it skips to her in the hospital.
Yeah.
And she's like, dang it, I have to sleep in this stupid bed again. It's not even cute. But there's another girl who gets checked into her... She gets checked into her room. And Sarah, you already know what's going to happen.
You can tell what's going to happen, but it's so upsetting.
You already know what's going to happen. The instant this new girl shows up, you know immediately what's going to happen.
No,
this is what I mean when I tell you it's predictable, but it's still fucking sad. So this new girl, her name is Yu, like Y-U-U.
Uh-huh.
And she is just this little ball of sunshine.
Isn't
you
she?
never find out what's wrong with her, but she's obviously in the hospital for some reason.
It's because she killed a man and she got poisoned afterwards, and that's why she's in the hospital, because she's actually horrible.
No.
No, of course not.
And she's just like this perfect little angel being. She's super energetic, and she's sharing the room with June, our main character for this episode.
Yeah.
And at one point, she's like, hey, do you want to play hide and go seek with us? And so she and June and a bunch of the other hospital kids are like running around, and they're playing hide and go seek on the roof. And she and June end up kind of in the same hiding place. And they have kind of like a little emotional heart to heart. And June's like, I don't know. I don't understand how you can be so happy in a situation like this. And Yu's like, well, life is like an amusement park. Everything you have to do in the hospital, it's like getting an injection is like a roller coaster. And having your treatments is like this other thing in an amusement park. And so we're both so young. It's like we just got to the amusement park. So it'd be a shame to have a sad face at one of those. And it's very cute.
Yeah.
And so June ends up kind of falling for her a little bit, literally, because she does like fall off this one little ledge that they were sitting on. There's like this 20-foot tall little segment of the roof where like the water tank is. And so she falls off of it into the bushes. And in any other anime, this would have been a fatality, but she just like lands in the bushes and she's like, haha, that was fun. I fell.
Yep. Okay, well, and
so then
they grow apart, and that's what happens.
Nope,
so that's the sad part.
Nope. We gotta get you to fall for these characters even more first, Sarah.
Okay.
Because they sneak out of the hospital and they go to karaoke together.
Oh, of
and
course.
So this actually threw me off because the song they use for the karaoke is like an AKB song.
Whoa. Okay.
It's a Koisuru fortune cookie, which is like. I'd heard the song before, but I didn't recognize it right away. And I'm like, wait, why do I know the song? Wow. Why do I know the song? And then they get to the chorus. I'm like, oh, it's that song. Koisuru fortune cookie da-da. It's a cute song. You should listen to it. But it will make you it will make you cry every time you hear it from now on because of the show.
Got it.
So they started karaoke, and Yu's like knocking it out. She's singing a bunch. June's like tapping her foot, and she's not really getting into it, but she's like mouthing the words. And so Yu hands her a mic, and then they sing the song together, and it's really cute, and they hug, and then we get a montage to the rest of the song, and they're playing hide and go seek in the hospital room, and they're sitting on the roof listening to music together, and it's really, really cute. And you already know what happens next.
Yeah, I do.
So another important thing that I forgot to mention is that a couple times during the current day segment of the show, and this is also in the opening, you see June reach into her pocket and pull out like this little heart-shaped like folded origami note.
Uh-huh.
And kind of stare at it pensively.
Okay.
And so this is the part where you find out what that is.
That's so sad.
So she's writing a note to her new best friend. And she's like, I'm really glad that I got to be your friend in the hospital. And you showed me what life really is. And I'm going to do my best to live by your example and enjoy life no matter what. And I hope we can be friends forever. And she walks into the room. And she sees Yu's mom, like, sobbing over her bed, and there's, like, a towel over her face, and she has passed away.
Yeah.
And June just breaks down. So she starts crying, and she just fucking books it, and she runs, and, like, she runs past her parents, and she ends up on the roof of the hospital. And, like, the sun is setting, and it's super dramatic, and her ponytail's blowing in the wind, and she's like, I'm always so negative, and she was always so positive. I should have been the one that died. It's like, God, it's not too late. You have to trade my life for her so she can go on living.
But there is no God. There is only Wall.
There is only Wall, but the end of the episode is you see her in the doctor's office, like presumably a couple weeks or months later, and the whatever respiratory disease she had, it's gone.
Good job.
Like, she's been able to make a full recovery. They don't know how it happened. They thought this was going to be with her for her entire life, but she somehow miraculously recovered from this debilitating illness.
Thank you, The Wall.
Right? And so she basically, there's like this moment where she kind of looks up at the sky and she's like, I'm going to do my best to live for you's sake.
Yeah.
And try to enjoy my life as best I can for the rest of what I have.
Yeah.
And then I wrote in my notes in all caps, ow, my fucking heart.
Yeah. Once you said there was another girl, it was like, oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, listen, it's extremely predictable. The moment she showed up on screen, I'm like, she's gonna die.
Yeah, and it's gonna hurt.
But it's gonna hurt real bad. But I'm a fucking sap, and this got me.
I understand, and it would have gotten me too. And it
Hashtag
will if I
damn
watch
it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we gotta move on. So next episode is Akane's episode. This is Robot Girl.
Robot Girl.
And so the beginning of the story is the girls get to do a concert, and there's going to be 3,000 people there. Wow.
That's so many
this is a
more
big
people.
deal.
Yeah.
Right? So then we get Akane's backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that when she was a little kid, she was extremely energetic, and her dad was like an artist, and so he encouraged her to be an artist. And so the first time you see little kid she's like running around, she's painting on the walls, and she's like making a huge mess in their living room. Mm-hmm. And the dad's just like super into it, and the mom's like, you gotta clean all this up, and you gotta focus on school. At one point, they go on vacation to like this cabin up in the mountains.
Oh, I've seen The Shining.
Yeah, right? And so the dad is not there. I guess he's like off to do some landscape painting or some shit. Okay. You never actually say where they go. But then the mom has to go somewhere else, and she's like, Akane, you stay in this house. Don't you leave this house. And Akane's like, okay.
That seems like a bad idea. Yeah.
It's an extremely bad idea because Akane leaves the house, and she's like, I don't understand why mom wanted me to stay in the house. How can I stay in the house when the scenery out here is so nice? And yeah, I hope you like the scenery, Akane, because she falls off a ledge and like gets lost in the woods for 3 days.
That is so many days.
That's several days. And so you see her parents panicking. It's like all over the news. They got search parties out, like looking through the mountains trying to find her.
Did she learn some wilderness skills?
Nope, she's like hiding in this abandoned shed.
Oh, well.
For like most of those 3 days. And so the mom finally finds her, and they have the tearful reunion, and everybody on the news is like, wow, yay, they finally found the lost child. But the news keeps digging into the story and putting pressure on the family. It's like, she only ran off because the mom was so strict with her. And da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it puts so much pressure on the family that her parents end up getting a divorce.
Oh, no.
And Akane gets dragged off to live with her mom only.
And her mom is the strict one.
Her mom is the strict one. Mm-hmm. And so Akane has kind of like a whole change of heart from this. She's like, me being carefree and giving into my emotions caused this horrible damage on my family, so I should just not have emotions.
Oh, no.
And so now she's like the super strict punctual one who shows no emotions, basically. Mm-hmm. But then, present day, at their concert, they get like, after they finish performing, they get a call for an encore. And it's so emotional that Akane cries. And everyone else is like, oh my god, you do have emotions.
She's a real human, not a robot.
Yeah, and so they go on and do the encore, and she's like kind of teary-eyed, and you see her like genuinely smile, and it's really sweet.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah. Next episode.
Yes.
So next episode is Donut Hair.
Yes, this makes sense. It makes sense that Nicole would be last.
Yeah. So her thing is she's a mangaka. We open on her like drawing manga on a tablet. I'm like, I've got one of those. She has 2 older sisters, and she was bullied a lot by her sisters as a kid.
One for each donut.
Yeah, right? They just sit on the side of her.
And eat her hair.
Each sister eats one of the donuts on her hair.
How mean.
But yeah, so her whole thing is at one point, one of her older sisters is getting bullied. Like, her middle sister's getting bullied. And so she goes in to stand up for her middle sister, but then the bullies keep going. But then the older sister shows up, and they're like, oh crap, she's the older sister, run! And so they're able to come together, and then they don't fight anymore.
Oh, good.
But then Ayaka, her whole thing is she's kind of a loner. She doesn't really care about school drama. She doesn't really fit in at school. She can't talk to her sisters because they go to different schools because they're older. Mm-hmm. She ends up getting a manga published straight out of middle school, which I'm like, wow, goals.
Good job, yeah.
So she moves to her own place, and then that's when she gets the letter to join the idol group, and she's like, oh, wow, they must have sharp eyes to have noticed me. And I'm like, girl, you didn't even audition. This is creepy.
You're not an idol. This is creepy.
Acknowledge that it's creepy.
Yes.
So this is also the hot springs episode.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Yeah, so they go to the hot springs. There's a little hot spring scene. It's not really sexy.
No, it never is.
The one funny... Oh, but the thing is, like, they're all kind of bonding, and Miyu, like, waxes poetic about, wow, it's been almost a year, and we've come together, and it's amazing. Another important thing is that at the beginning of this episode, you get told that the girls are going to do a 1-year anniversary concert on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And so that's coming up. And so they're talking about that concert in this episode. And he was like, wow, it's only been a year, but we've come together and we've grown so much. And now 22/7, we're like a little family. And at some point, they get into a fight over a card game. And Ayaka breaks it up by saying, it's like, hey, we're an idol group. We need to be friends. And everyone else is like, yeah, okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, tracks.
Yeah. The thing about Ayaka is I wish she had a more, like, solid personality. Mm-hmm. She doesn't really have, like... I never can tell what she's thinking.
Got it.
A lot of the times. And part of it might just because I kind of ignored her for a lot of episodes because I literally knew nothing about her. So any character development we saw from her in the beginning, I kind of glossed over.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense because she's not like one of the big
She doesn't really
voices.
have a standout
Yeah,
personality.
she's not one of the big voices. Yeah.
She's kind of like a background character. She's a wallflower.
There you go.
But yeah, so it's kind of cute, and they talk about they bond. So and Miyu's got what?
Do you see the wall in the hot spring?
Oh, well, so remember how I told you about that little plushy cat they get?
Yes.
And they take it places? They bring the cat into the hot spring. And they're like, is that allowed to be here? And they're like, it's fine, because he's not really the wall.
Amazing.
But they, like, bring the cat into the hot spring, and I'm like, you're going to have to wash it after this.
I'm glad that the wall gets some hot springs time.
So, after we get the sweet episode talking about how much they've bonded, the wall gives a new order. It's like an after-credit scene.
The wall says, one must go. I will be idol now.
Close.
Whoa, okay.
The wall says disband the group.
Oh, rip. I guess the wall did not like the hot springs trip.
Yeah. So, the next episode, episode 10, cuts directly into that.
Uh-oh.
And all the girls are like, wait, what the fuck? We've got a concert coming up. We've only been at this for like a year. Why does the wall want us to disband? This has got to be a joke, right? But the manager shows up and he's like, I heard that there was a new order. What's it say? Disband? Oh, well, that's fucked. Guess we have to shut down the company.
No, you see, you think it says disband, but it means disband. So we have to, like, dis the band.
We gotta find a shitty band. And just rag on them. No. But so, yeah, like, over the course of the rest of the episode, the entire office shuts down.
Okay, so wait. The whole office is dedicated to this idol group? That's all they do?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Boy. Okay.
The office was created to manage this idol group.
All right, got it.
And so the wall, you see it there's like a montage, and the wall keeps spitting out orders, and so it's like, cancel TV appearances, cancel this and that, shut down the dance studio, shut down this, and so it cuts back and forth between the wall giving out orders and things like closing the office and packing up all the windows and mirrors and stuff.
I think the wall was just predicting a recession and wanted to play it safe.
Right? Mm-hmm. He's like insider trading.
Mm-hmm. I think
he's avoiding his taxes.
He's avoiding his taxes.
Because you have to file the taxes after the new year and the concert.
That's what's going on.
It's like winter.
That's why the wall wants to disband. He's worried about his taxes.
The wall doesn't want to pay taxes.
Doesn't want to pay taxes.
I can't believe that we've discovered the caveat of this whole show.
That's what's going on.
It's the wall is a tax evader. But yeah, so the girls have to give an extremely scripted press conference about them disbanding.
Yeah.
And the press is like super angry, and they're like, this is a stab in the back to all of your fans. Why won't you tell us what's going on? What caused this? What's the deal? And you look at Nicole, and it looks like all of them want to say, but they can't say anything.
Yeah.
Because like you have to stick to the script. Don't say anything. So later, Miu's on her way home, main character Miu, and she gets cornered by a reporter and a cameraman.
Uh-oh.
And they're like, what can you tell us about 22/7 shutting down? And she ends up just like, she's like, bye, see ya, and she just takes off running in the other direction, and they chase her.
Oh no.
But she turns down an alleyway, and this hand just reaches out from the alley and grabs her and pulls her in.
Uh-oh.
And the reporters like run past where they're hiding. And it's Nicole.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, so it's not a creeper, it's Mean Girl.
Okay.
And she's like, yeah, you must get that a lot because you're the center, so they're going to be coming after you. And so they end up in like a McDonald's.
What is it? What is it in this anime?
I can't remember because I wasn't paying attention.
That's fine.
It's like a bee burger or some shit. It's nothing.
Okay.
It's not like a Whack Donald's or something.
That's fair.
But they have like a conversation, and Nicole asks Miu, what is the most precious thing to you? And then she's like, nope, sorry, that was a weird question, forget I asked it.
Ooh, Nicole,
but that's gonna come up. That's gonna come up again later.
Uh-oh.
So we see the rest of the girls kind of dealing with the aftermath of this. Miyako, Osaka girl, her huge family is shocked that she's back. Reika, the serious one with the single dad, her dad has put all of her idol photos all over the walls, and he's wearing a Reika t-shirt, and she's embarrassed.
Oh, that's cute, though.
Yeah, it's pretty cute, but she's really embarrassed about it.
Oh, Dad.
June, the ponytail cute happy girl, she's like almost in denial. She's like in her room singing along to the songs and practicing her dancing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so the episode ends, the office is now completely abandoned. And that's where the episode ends.
Okay.
Like it's closed down, it's locked up, and we're on episode 10. We still have 2 episodes left.
Well, I'm glad that the girls are free now. I hope that they join their own non-creepy agency. Uh-oh.
We'll get there.
Uh-oh.
So, the show's almost over. It's about time for Nicole, the serious idol one, to get some attention.
Yes.
Because now we get her episode.
Uh-huh.
And you find out why her episode was the last one. Because this is not the first time that she and Miu have met.
What?
They knew each other in elementary school.
Did Mio remember this?
Nope.
Okay.
We'll get there. I'll tell you what happens.
Okay.
So, when she was a baby, like in elementary school, Nicole was really shy and she had a stutter.
Okay.
And so she really couldn't talk very well. She had no confidence. She was a shy baby. She really liked idols, though, and so she's like, whenever I watched idols on TV, I could dream that I was also on that shining stage. But she doesn't really have any confidence, so she doesn't try to pursue it herself.
Okay.
And then her class gets a transfer student, and it's Miu. And she's a tiny baby. And she's still, like, very quiet. She doesn't really talk to anybody, and she's always reading books about music.
Yes.
And that'll come up again later. So then it's time for the class play.
Of course. And
they're deciding who's gonna be what characters in the class play. And there's a trio of bully girls in the class who bully, what's her name? Nicole.
Oh, no.
And they're like, Nicole should play the witch. And the teacher's like, okay, I guess Nicole's gonna play the witch. And she stutters too much, so she can't speak up and say, no, I don't want to do it.
Oh, no.
And you find, so the witch is like one of the main characters. She's got the most lines, and so the bullies wanted her to do this because they're like, she can't do it because she's got a stutter, and she's going to mess up on stage and be embarrassed.
That's so mean.
Yeah, and you find out like the witch also has some songs that she has to sing.
Oh, but that's going to help her out.
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
So she's in one of the practice rooms with a piano, and she's just like kind of trying to practice singing, but she's not very confident. And then Miyu comes in. And she says nothing. She just sits down at the piano and starts playing the witch's song.
Whoa, good job,
And then
girl.
Nicole is practicing along with her. She's like, oh, you're playing this so I can practice, okay. And so they practice together. And the line is like, even though we didn't say a single word to each other, we understood each other.
Oh, I see.
I'm like, all right, okay. So now it's the day of the play, and everything is going nicely. Nicole is actually doing pretty well. But then you see the bully girls waiting in the wings, and they're hinting that they sabotaged something.
So mean.
And they're like, I wonder how she'll react when she finds out what we did. Nyak, nyak, nyak.
Uh-oh.
And so one of the bully girls is playing Snow White, and Nicole goes out on stage and she's like, hello, would you like an apple? The play is Snow White, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. Yeah, so she is the witch, and she's like got this little basket and it's covered with a little towel, and she's like, would you like to buy an apple, small beautiful child? And Snow White's like, oh sure, I guess I'll take an apple. Can I have one? And Nicole's like, sure. So she reaches into the basket and the apples are gone.
Oh no.
And she freezes up. So then Miyu sees what's happening. And I want you to guess what Miyu does.
What character is Miyu playing?
She's just like a little squirrel. She's like in a kigurumi with a little squirrel tail, and it's very cute, but she doesn't have a very major part.
Oh, I have no idea.
What do you think? She's like, sees this in the wing, she sees Nicole freaking out, and she runs on stage. What do you think she does?
She bites the arm.
Okay, you know what? That's actually extremely close. She full body tackles the bully girl and starts beating the shit out of her.
Whoa. Squirrel attack.
That. Yeah, basically. And so it's like that scene in A Christmas Story where the main character kid snaps and just starts like pounding on the kid. That's basically what Miyu does.
Oh boy.
And on stage in front of all the parents. And so the teacher like runs on stage and pulls Miyu off of the kid, and the curtains shut and the play is canceled.
Yeah, that sounds like a probably time to cancel the play at that point.
And so you find out that Miyu, like, she got a long talking to from her mom and the principal and the teacher, and she ends up transferring schools.
Yeah.
But
tracks.
There's a short scene where Nicole asks her, it's like, why did you do it? And Nicole is like, you looked like you were about to break, and I didn't want my most precious thing to get hurt.
Whoa.
And I'm like, you know, this scene would have hit a lot harder if we had had any sort of interaction between them that wasn't just like playing the piano together in silence.
Yes.
Like, seriously, I was thinking about it, right? Because like all you would have had to do is show a couple, like you didn't even have to animate it, just like a couple of still frames, like a little montage. Didn't have to be longer than 10 seconds.
Yeah. Showing them like
eating lunch together. Or maybe like Miyu is showing her something on the piano. Or them like walking home together. Mm-hmm. You could have shown me 3 drawings, and I would have believed that Nicole meant way more to Miyu than this scene actually did.
Got it.
But as it stands, this scene, this line is just like completely unbelievable.
Feels a little out of nowhere.
And I get that she's a child.
Mm-hmm.
She's like 9. But it was still just like, this is not a believable scene. But this show is all about suspension of disbelief, so why not?
I mean, we believe in an all-powerful wall at this point, so.
Yep. So Miyu transfers schools, and then Nicole is like, well, now I have all this confidence because I've seen what this shy girl can do when she comes out of her shell. So even though she's transferred schools and moved on, I want to be an idol. And so she like starts taking idol lessons, and she gets rejected a whole bunch, but she keeps applying because one day she's going to be a great idol, spurred on by the active courage that her one little friend in 4th grade showed her that one time.
Oh, and then she goes and she sees her friend again, and it's like, you don't remember me.
Yup.
Got it.
And so that's why she's so angry and pissed off at Miyu for a while, because it's like, I remember you as someone different, and you don't even know who I am.
Got it.
So now we've got all the character growth episodes out of the way, and it's time for the final episode.
All right. So my prediction, final episode, the wall is actually a parasite and it's infected all the girls and now it's possessing their bodies and now the wall is an idol.
50%.
Whoa, okay.
Okay, so the final episode.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I forgot. So at the end of the previous episode, so it's the day that the anniversary concert would have been held. It's like the day of the group's official formation. Mm-hmm. It's Christmas Eve. And so the girls individually all end up going back to the emptied out production agency.
I mean, that seems like a cool place to explore.
Yeah, right? Because they show it as like there's nothing in there.
That's pretty fun.
It's very spooky. And so they all end up going back to like the little lounge room where the wall is, where they were always hanging out. Yeah.
Do they have to buy zoo tickets every time they go to the production agency?
Actually, no. I forgot to mention this. Okay. They do have like a regular office building.
Oh, good.
I think it's in like episode 3. They show it. It's just like this regular building, and they're like, "Why couldn't we have used this entrance?"
Well, that's not the wall.
This is way more normal.
It is a lot more normal.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so during this bit, I think it's Nicole who goes back. It's either Nicole or Miyu. Someone goes back through the secret entrance under the zoo, mm-hmm. and so it's like kind of mirroring the first episode.
Got it. So they did have to buy zoo tickets sometimes.
At some point, yes. Mm-hmm. Maybe they got a season pass.
Oh, that makes sense.
But yeah, so they go back. And they all end up convening, like, individually of each other. They're just like, oh, yeah, we were all thinking the same thing. We all ended up back at the office on our anniversary. Happy 1 year, you guys. Woo. Woo. And so they all, like, they're actually, like, in their uniforms and stuff. They're like, if we're here, we should be wearing these. It just, I know we're not officially idols anymore, but it just kind of feels right.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's like wearing your school uniform when you go back to school, which is actually kind of weird, but, whatever.
No, actually, it totally tracked. I had school uniforms in high school, and whenever I would go on the weekends, I would wear the uniform.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the end of the episode ends, and so the beginning of episode 12, the final episode, we get a short little scene of what's happening outside the office.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of fans gathered out there because they're just there for some reason.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of like little poster board signs, like little sandwich board signs like you would see outside of cafes. And it has like the logo for 22/7 and an arrow pointing like off to down the street.
Okay.
And it's like, all right, what's up with that? But we're not going to find out what that's about until the end of the episode.
Got it.
So then we skip back inside, and the wall starts talking.
Oh gosh, what's its voice like?
Very kind of robotic, auto-tuned.
Got it.
And it's like, hello, I am the wall. I wanted to research how girls chosen to be idols would behave and observe you. It was an experiment to learn about the human psyche.
Okay.
It's extremely creepy.
Oh boy.
And the girls are obviously very upset by this.
Yes.
They're like, what the fuck? You used us for some experiment? We're not done being idols. We want to still be idols, though. Why'd you disband the group? And the wall's like, disbanding the group was part of the experiment. You all have served your purpose and I don't need you anymore. So you're not going to be idols anymore. And Nicole is like begging. She's like, no, I want to be an idol. Let us keep being idols. And they're like, you cannot continue. And this cannot continue.
This cannot continue.
Oh no. There's your Nier Automata reference for the podcast.
There we go.
For the episode. And Nicole at one point looks over at Miyu. And Miyu is like real quiet, and her like bangs are down over her eyes.
Uh-oh.
Like this bitch about to snap.
She's about to go berserker mode.
Yeah, and Sarah, I would like you to guess what Miyu does.
She punches the wall.
Very close! She throws an armchair at it.
That is amazing. I love that.
Like, she picks up... It's not like a wimpy little, like, folding chair. It is a fully stuffed and upholstered armchair. And she, like, picks it up and she yeets it at the wall like she's suddenly a JoJo character.
Berserker mode.
And she's just like, fuck this wall. We're gonna keep being idols no matter what you say because 22/7 is special and it's my most precious thing. And fuck you. And so the other girls are like, yeah, what she said. And they all start throwing stuff at the wall. And so, like, Nicole grabs a candelabra and she chucks it at the wall. And the other girls are, like, just beating down the wall with, like, all this other random furniture that they grab. And the wall ends up breaking.
What's behind the wall?
A secret stalker room.
Okay.
Sarah, so they put a crack in the wall. And they, like, feel a breeze and they see, like, this red light coming through, and they're like, oh shit, there's a room behind here. And so they just all summon up their strength and break down a literal brick wall, I guess, but that's fine because the show is about suspension of belief.
That's what the power of this is why idols do sports.
Idols are fucking ripped.
Idols are terrifying.
So they break down the wall and they find the secret stalker chamber, and there's, like, I want you to picture what, like, a secret surveillance room would look like, and it's that. They've got, like, a dark room in the corner for developing photos. They've got, like, security camera feed TVs everywhere.
And they're like, wow, we trusted this wall for a whole year.
And, no, Sarah, longer than that. On the back wall, they've got photos of all of them from their entire fucking lives.
Wow, so
the wall has been following them and taking pictures of them and observing them since they were children.
So the wall not only evades its taxes, but also creeps on children.
Yes, and so, like, you can tell that all of these pictures are, like, recycled from the flashback sequences, but it's like, how long have you been observing these children for their quote-unquote idol potential? And you would think that this would put them off.
Yeah.
They are, at most, a little weirded out by it, but not as weirded out by it as they are of the wall talking to them.
Okay.
Oh, important thing to note, this is not a Wizard of Oz bit. There's no one else in this room.
Got it.
So wherever the wall was talking from, it's not from this room.
Okay.
And they just never elaborate on that.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
That's all you get.
That's all you get. Because on the other side of this room is this long walkway. That's, like, dark. And they're like, we're just gonna keep walking down this walkway, I guess.
Okay.
And so they keep walking, and there's, like, this dramatic scene of their cell phone flashlights disappearing into the dark void. And they're just walking down this hallway.
This is a horror film.
And they have kind of, like, a heart-to-heart chat about how they got here.
And about how the wall is aliens.
And how the wall is probably a fucking alien life form. And Sarah, I want you to guess where this secret tunnel leads.
Well, obviously they end up on stage.
That's exactly where they end up, Sarah! That is exactly where they end up. They end up on stage. It's like, apparently the zoo has a concert arena and all of their fans are in the stands already.
Are the gorillas
and they
there?
No, the gorillas are not there, sadly.
Oh, okay.
But their gorilla-like manager is there.
Gouda.
And he's like standing in the back, and like everybody in the audience is like holding their phones up above their head. And have you ever seen like that Sinus something software that's like shows you how to play piano?
Yeah.
They're all playing the song somehow in unison that Miu played on the piano in the 3rd episode.
Okay.
And so it like swells to the dramatic conclusion of like there's like a bunch of microphones at the front of the stage, and Miu's like, guys, let's keep being idols.
All right.
And then they do the concert.
Okay.
And now I would be more okay with this if it was not for what happened next.
All right.
We pan to the back, and we see their manager, Gouda, whatever the fuck his name is, Cheeseman. And he's talking to, like, some rando girl who you think, get the vibe, she must have been, like, a receptionist or something. It may have shown her in a previous episode. Don't remember. Mm-hmm. She's just some lady. So you find out that apparently all of this was part of the Wall's plan.
Yeah, of course it was. All right.
And so you see like this secret scene that the girls were not privy to because they were already gone by this point, of the wall just spitting out a literal mountain of orders, telling like all the staff like what to do. Is like, make sure that their uniforms are in their lockers, make sure that they all come to the room, but don't force them. They have to come on their own or else it's not going to work. And then you got to set up signs to guide the audience, and you have to set up the microphones in this spot so that they'll know what to do when they get there, and they'll just follow through with this exact plan.
Okay.
And so now it's like, and Gouda has this line of like, and they followed it to the letter without even realizing, and none of them even questioned. None of them gave up when we told them to disband the idol group. They all still kept wanting to be idols. They really are the chosen ones.
Okay. The chosen ones. All right.
The 8 chosen ones.
This is a cult, and there are aliens. This is an alien cult.
It's a cult. It's a cult. And so the final scene is them having fun, the time of their life as idols. And there's like a little freeze frame on Miu and Nicole at the front of the stage, like kind of jumping excitedly. And then it cuts to the wall.
Oh, is the wall back?
And the wall is still broken, but apparently they didn't kill it.
Okay.
Because it spits out another order that says, recruit 3 more members.
Uh-oh.
And then you cut to 3 other members whose presence I will explain to you in a minute. You get like a hot scene of these little characters like in a cafe, and they have like this very like random conversation that doesn't mean anything. And then it cuts to the credits.
Oh.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Maybe.
Well then. Okay.
So I did some research.
Got it.
And when you go to watch videos of 22/7 on YouTube, sometimes it's odd because you see like they have dance choreography videos on YouTube, and sometimes there's 8 characters, and sometimes there's 11.
Got it. So those are the extra characters.
Yeah, they're called the Hidden Gems.
Okay.
And basically their story is that they were recruited after the original 8 started doing their idol activities, and I guess they didn't join up in time to be part of the anime for realsies.
Oh, got it. So they didn't have time to record them, like physically in real life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like a lot of the early concerts, they're not there, but now it's like they're actually there, and they just released a bunch of new songs, and so the 3 newbies are in there as well. If you see official art, the new 3 are in there as well. It's a group of 11 now, but they started out as 8, and that's the canon that the anime is feeding off of.
That makes sense. And also, I feel like they probably weren't expecting their group to get as big as it did or as popular as it did at whatever point when they hired people.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced this is gonna get a second season is the thing.
Sure.
I kinda hope it does because I want to see what the fuck they do, because they left so many loose ends.
Apparently.
Because, like, all the shit with the production company, it's closed. How are they going to keep being idols? Are they just going to go right back to that same area and pretend like none of this ever happened? They gave themselves so much bad PR over this.
Yeah.
They confused their whole audience. Are they still an idol group? Nobody fucking knows. Are they canceled or not? And then there's that whole thing with Sakura. She has to go home after a year. And I guess that just doesn't matter. And like everybody else is like, what's going to happen now? So it's like if they do get the second season of an anime, it's going to have to deal with all of that. But right now, it's just they're leaving a ton of hooks because I guess they're anticipating a second season.
And does Miu ever recognize Nicole?
At the very end. They have like a weird, like floating in a wide expanse anime scene where she finally realizes, and they're like kids again for a hot second. And they have like this cute little exchange, and that's right before like the last cut of the thing.
So there's not a lot of development there.
No, we don't really get to see much of that at all.
Okay, 22/7.
If it doesn't get a second season, that is a wild place to leave it.
That is a lot. That is a whole lot. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But see, Sarah, here's the problem.
Uh-huh.
I kind of love it.
I know. I really kind of want to watch it now. I would be less interested if it wasn't for how absolutely creepy it is.
It's fucking buck wild, Sarah.
See, like the normal idol drama, you see that a lot, but walls spitting out orders and idols joining some sort of strange alien cult,
it's a cult. It's a cult.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's legitimately a cult. And I'm like, okay, I guess we have idol politicians. We have idols in space. This is the idol cult.
Here we are.
Yep, that happened.
All right.
Wow. So yeah, that's 22/7.
There you go. Who's your best girl?
Yeah. I have two.
Uh-huh.
I can't. So I really like Miyu because she has a lot of good character growth,
and she's a berserker.
She's a berserker. I honestly see a lot of myself in her from that aspect. Mm-hmm. It's like you just get fucking pissed sometimes. It's like you hold it down for most of the time, but then when you rage, you fucking rage, and then you throw an armchair. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, I understand this. This is a relatable character to me.
That's fair.
But I also like Ayaka.
Yeah.
The mangaka girl, because I feel like I have to.
I understand. Obligation.
I'm legally obligated to like her because I like donuts and manga.
There you go.
And making comics. Hey, read my webcomic, castoff-comic.com. Cough, cough, cough.
There you go. So where can people watch this?
So this is at the time of recording this, only the first 10 episodes are on Crunchyroll.
Okay.
But the rest of it's on Funimation.
Got it. Awesome.
I'm not it's not dubbed or anything. I'm not sure if they're going to bother dubbing it, but they might.
Very cool.
Who knows?
Thank you for sharing, Star. I am intrigued.
Yeah, it's wild. I would, if nothing else, the music is pretty good, and it's all on Spotify. And there's not a whole lot of it. You can listen to their whole discography in under an hour.
That sounds like fun.
And there's a couple of music videos, too, if you want to see what some just B+ CG animation in anime looks like. The music videos are all 3D animated.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, but, like, there's some actually good songs. Like, the OP is a pretty good jam.
Nice.
And, the one song, I can't say the full title in Japanese, but it's like Shampoo something something something. And it's got a music video, and it's actually pretty cute.
Awesome, that's cool.
And the song is nice. I'll send it to you after this.
Very cool. That's exciting.
But yeah, I think that's all I got.
The wall.
Final shots, or final thoughts. The show is buck wild. I hope it gets a second season.
Praise the wall.
Praise the wall.
Thanks, Star.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed that.
I did.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
We've been Lady.
See you next live.
See you next live. Bye.
Bye.